Recording in
Hey guys, this is Mongolian Mindset, and today we're gonna be helping one of our members find their personality type. Man, we'll just be asking questions, and you don't have to go into any traumas, anything you don't feel comfortable with. But what you do say, we will use to triangulate down your best fit type. Can you introduce yourself?
Uh, Hold on a second here. Something's going on with my mic speaker. I hate these technical issues. All right, so what do I do? Just talk a bit, or
Oh,
how do
just
you?
introduce yourself, man. Where you from? Anything you want to tell us?
Oh, I'm Josh. I'm from the Northeast. Lived here my whole life. Kind of want to leave at some point because I'm sick and tired of it, as for reasons I outlined earlier. Uh, in my spare time, I like to work out. I like to, do some drawing every now and then. I like to watch movies. My big thing is just physical exercise. I love getting that every day, like any way I can. So that's a big part of my life. I've also got some creative pursuits I'm trying to get into. And yeah, I'm just somebody that likes to fill my time with hobbies just so I can have stuff to do because it just gives me some kind of purpose, just knowing that I have something to look forward to every day.
Hmm. Okay. What do you like about typology, man, and what got you into it?
Well, when I was in my late 20s, my friend introduced me to it. Uh, and I took the test like everybody else does in 16 personalities. And I didn't really think much of the result. But what really got me fascinated was when I found out there were Facebook groups for every single type. So I spent time in each of those groups and just saw how these people interact with each other and if I can notice patterns between what I'm seeing here and what I'm seeing in real life so
Hmm.
that I can start to kind of get how to talk to certain people and see why I may have had trouble communicating with certain types. And it's really helped out over time. I can see why I have communication issues with certain people. They look at the world completely different from how I look at it.
Hmm.
So it's really just a tool for social interaction and for networking and for all that other kind of stuff. So I can just, not piss people off as much, basically.
Okay. Okay. What do you think are the worst parts about the typology in general?
Well, the mistypes for one thing. I mean, so many people in these groups are just mistyped. If you go into the entp group in particular, you're going to see it everywhere. And also, I find that some people that think they have an understanding have a really bad understanding because they hear something you say, they don't agree with it, and automatically they want to tell you you're high fi or whatever, and that's what's causing you to say it. When really you may just have a different understanding of the issue than they do,
Hmm.
and they're just so prideful and arrogant in their view that they can't look at it objectively, and they may have mistyped themselves because if they're going to be that biased, then the bias may also apply there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we try to go to the experts, like Dario Nardi and stuff like that, and stick to like the experts and not like Jerry around. Okay. What do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years, man?
Next 5 to 10 years, well, I'll have hopefully left this place. I've sold my house and bought another property, maybe in the Southwest, which is where I've been thinking of moving for a long time. Backup plan will be Florida, just anywhere south. But I prefer a desert climate in particular. With any luck, I'll be running my own business, hopefully, because I've always gotten the sense that I need to be self-employed. I'm not exactly, a dutiful worker. I don't want to say that I'm not dutiful because I will do the job, but I just, I don't take orders for their own sake. I always look for shortcuts if I can, because if I'm being given instructions where I can tell it's just busy work, I'm gonna start to slack off and not seem as motivated, and then that's what's gonna give off the impression that I'm lazy. I'm not somebody who likes useless tasks. I like there to be a purpose behind them.
Okay. Okay. What do you think are your like highest skills, and what do you think are your lowest skills?
Highest skills. I'm very good with my hands. I'm very good at math. In fact, my mathematical skills are probably the best thing about me. But also, when it comes to like hands-on activities, my fine motor skills are excellent. People always come to me to like anything that requires using your fingers and just being meticulous about it. They always come to me for that kind of stuff. My worst skills are probably the fact that, this is coming from what I hear generally about me. I tend to generalize quite a bit about a lot of things. and I don't really look for like specific instances where things are different. I just have like one broad sweeping generalization for whatever it is that I'm encountering here. So, for example, let's say I know that somebody lives in a particular city or town. I'm already going to associate qualities with them that may or may not be true just because they're from that town and I'm familiar with what kind of people typically live there. So it can be very hard to break me out of that. I'm getting better at it as I get older, but I mean, I still have that issue sometimes.
Uh, that's awesome. What is three words your friends would say about you?
Three, what'd you just ask?
3 words.
Uh, I have one friend who always describes me as stoic. Uh, they also describe me as grounded and what's another word they typically use? I know stoic, grounded, and practical are three words I often hear.
Okay. Where you get your stoic from?
Just I'm not the most expressive person out there. Just generally how I am. That was kind of how I developed growing up. I guess I just learned to not be too expressive. I just held it in because I noticed that nobody around me really was interested in whatever was going on inside. So didn't really see the point to express it. And it's kind of just a reactivity to the outside world. So anything that might upset me, I just naturally learned to tune it out. And I just take that approach with everything in life. So nobody would ever describe me as somebody who flies off the handle or gets mad or anything. In fact, they seem to think I'm pretty even tempered because of what I just described.
Okay. What are some of your interests?
I'm very interested in music. I'm very interested in art. I'm very interested in, like I said, physical fitness. I'm interested in really just cultural things.
Yeah. Okay. Thomas, you got anything?
Yeah, sure. If you had 3 wishes, what would you wish for?
That's a good one. Um, Probably an unlimited bank account so that I'd never have to worry about any kind of. I mean, I think that's something everybody would wish for, though. But in my case, that would be a big help. Just knowing that I always have that backup.
Mhm.
Uh, let's see. How can I narrow this down to three? There's so many things I want in the world. Uh,
Yeah, right.
the two that come to mind are obviously the bank account and the ability to just pick up and travel wherever I want to go whenever I feel like it. Uh, and you just had to ask me the question that's going to stump me here.
That's okay.
Because that third one, I feel like I'm Aladdin right now, and the genie's like pressuring me to make up my mind on the last one here. All right, unlimited bank account, ability to travel at will, and the world being free of any sort of laws or restrictions that I find just ridiculous or stupid or just put in place just to flex power for its own sake. Get rid of those rules and restrictions. Let people live in peace and live their lives however they choose.
Gotcha.
Freedom for people. Well, what do you think is like what makes you happy?
Just knowing that I don't care what other people think about me anymore. My unhappiness in the past, I've noticed, was tied a lot to what other people were doing and how I matched up by comparison, and if I could be viewed as a loser because I'm not keeping up. But my happiness level I noticed started to increase as I hit my 30s because that's when I stopped caring about what other people were doing. I stopped caring about whether or not they think I'm a success, and I just kind of focused on me because every single hurdle I had to overcome, every single thing that could have ever made me insecure was already done. And that was basically the best relief I've ever had in my life out of anything.
If you were to give anybody like some advice, what would it be?
I would say don't be so confident in your opinions that you automatically dismiss everything else that you could possibly hear, because that'll get you to some very bad conclusions about things, and you may be missing pieces of information. So just be a little more open-minded in how you approach things. And if something is incorrect, yeah, it's incorrect, but don't just assume it is off the bat because of who it comes from or because you don't like what you're hearing.
Okay. How does your normal weekend look like?
Normal weekend.
Mhm.
Let's see. Friday night, I'll go over to my friend's place and hang out with him. We'll sit on the couch. We'll, watch a movie or something. We'll talk about observations that we see in the world, or anything that's going on. And then on Saturdays, I'll wake up late because it's Saturday. Typically go for a walk around the park or something with my headphones on, and just come back, maybe do a little cleaning around the apartment. And then later on at night, I'll go hang out with my buddy again. And, if we feel like going out somewhere, we will, but it's been happening less frequently lately. We basically just stay in.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Sundays, I'll go to the gym.
Okay. What do you think is something you're trying to work on the most?
Just reinventing myself completely is the big thing going on in my life right now. I'm trying to forget about who I used to be and just trying to forget about everything that came before that could have screwed me now or in the future, and just it happened. That's just what it was. And now I'm trying to decide who I am actually, and what I'm all about, and what I want to do, and what I have to bring. Just total complete reinvention of self is basically the big thing right now.
Do you find yourself making having a hard time making decisions?
Um, Not necessarily. I mean, if I have an idea of something I want to do, I'll just do it. Uh, Maybe if it's something that I'm not really that into per se, like if I'm not that passionate about it, then I'll have a hard time making a decision because this already doesn't interest me very much to begin with. So I don't know what to go with here. If I know for a fact that I want something, it's not very hard for me to make a decision because I'll already have it outlined.
Hey, Thomas, you got anything?
Sure. What's a skill you think everyone should have?
Oh, good one. Um, I think everybody should know how to change a tire because you're gonna have that happen at some point.
Change the tire. You know what? That shit actually fucking happened to me one time and I didn't know how to change the tire.
No shit.
And I had to like
Well, yeah, I got AAA, so I got that taken care of.
some random older gentleman on the side of the road helped me. I was like, thank
No
God.
shit.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Yeah, bro. I do not
Happens.
have mechanical skills. I do not. I am not even gonna sit here and pretend to even bullshit. I do not have mechanical skills. That is not something I was born with. Um, um, when you see like, what do you think is something that people misunderstand about you?
Well, for one thing, the big thing that I always pick up on, they think I'm more aggressive and just more of an aggro type of male than I really am. They think they look at me and they assume that I'm just fierce and intense all the time and that I don't know how to chill. And then that quickly goes away the second they start talking to me and they realize that I'm really not like that. But it's kind of a visual thing that happens with them where they see a picture of me and they start associating just aggressive qualities, just very angry qualities, kind of bullyish qualities, and then I've just never been like that. So kind of surprises me that anybody would even think that about me.
Yeah. I think I know the reason why people do that. I think you just have the kind of same problem I have. It's kind of the 8 Enneagram.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because you have the 8 Enneagram, that energy always is out there. Like if I like, let's just say like someone's not paying attention and I walk past me, I almost like shit the draws, and
yeah.
and
Oh man,
I'm like, fuck, man. It's that 8 energy, man. It's just like you walk in somewhere and like people are like fucking on eggshells and shit. It's like, God damn, man. Like I always tell Thomas, like I wish I was invisible sometimes because it's kind of annoying. So
Yeah, you
fuck.
and me both, man. I wish the same thing.
Like going to the fucking grocery store and like motherfuckers is like they feel like they gotta be nice to you or something, or they gotta say something to you. And I'm like, yo, just let me buy my shit and leave me alone.
I've been there.
Yeah, it's the 8 Enneagram. Um, what does 60 look like for you?
60.
Yeah, 60 years old.
That's a long. I'm going to be 35 this year, so we're talking 25 years in the future. I'll probably have my property out in the Southwest. I'll probably be retired, hopefully. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't be retired at 60. What am I saying? But I'll have my own peaceful property with, a climate that I enjoy and just living my life. Just probably continuing growing whatever business I run. Just keeping that going. Maybe I'll have another side project at the time because I can see myself expanding and just taking up, like I said, hobbies in the meantime to keep myself busy. Just keeping myself busy with things that I enjoy, just like I'm doing now. I really don't see that changing at all. I just enjoy staying busy and just doing things, and I enjoy peaceful atmospheres and just places I enjoy, just pleasant scenery and all that. I'm kind of big on aesthetics in that way, but really just what I'm doing now times like 10. Really, I just plan on doing more and more as I get older.
Okay. On vacations, how are you on a vacation?
Way different than I am around here. I last went to Florida last year in the spring,
Mm-hmm.
and I noticed that my affect seemed to change a lot down there because I was at Orlando
Mm-hmm.
and I was visiting the theme parks, and I was just a happy-go-lucky guy, smiling everywhere and just chit chatting with people. I had a more inviting aura, way more inviting aura than I do up here. I don't know if it was because of something that was going on in the universe at that time or because the scenery just kind of filled me with a little more enthusiasm, but it was just, I'm just a lot happier seeming and a lot more jovial and kind of, vibe with everybody around me.
Mm-hmm. Do you find it hard to relax?
Yeah, at home I do because I feel like if I'm relaxing too much, then I'm probably being perceived as lazy and I should probably be doing something because I don't know, just vegging out on the couch. I've seen how that can become a problem with other people that I've known where they just give into laziness and then they never do anything. And I'm like, yeah, I really don't want to live like that. I don't want to be a slob who just becomes a hoarder and all that. I want to take care of things so that I don't end up like that.
Yeah. Do you worry about what people think about you?
I used to, but as I said, as I got older, I stopped caring as much because I looked at their lives and realized that I was not envious of where they ended up. So
Mm-hmm.
I was really just being envious of the wrong people the whole time.
Mm-hmm. So would you say that had like a big effect on you, or
What,
um,
caring about what other people thought of me?
yeah?
Oh yeah, I used to use that as motivational fuel all the time. That motivated basically all my actions, just insecurity in that department.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tom, you got anything?
Yeah, I know you kind of talked about it earlier, like about the three wishes, like having unlimited money in your bank account, etc. But if so let's just say you didn't have to worry about money either because you had unlimited money or whatever. How do you think you would live your life at that point?
If money was not a factor,
Exactly. Yeah.
well then that means nothing would cost anything, and that means I got free reign to do whatever the hell I want. So I can, I can take a trip on a yacht if I want because I don't have to pay to get on. I can take a flight out to Australia if I want because I don't have to pay to get on that flight. I
Mm-hmm.
can, I can take a journey to the center of the earth if I want to do that. I can take just anything. I can go skydiving. I can go ride roller coasters. I can take a hot air balloon ride.
Mm-hmm. And I guess those are probably some things that you maybe wanted to do that, but you haven't been able to do,
Yeah, some of
or you
those
just
things.
some of those things.
Yeah, some of them. I've never been on a yacht. I have been on roller coasters. I may have taken a hot air balloon ride actually at some point, but I can't remember. I just remember being around a hot air balloon. I don't know if I passed out in midair or something. No, I didn't. But
I feel like that would be dope, but I think we probably be kind of scared too, being in a hot air balloon.
Yeah,
It's just kind of
same,
weird.
same. I don't like to like not be in control. Like if I'm not in control, I start freaking the fuck out. Like so being up in there in the air and shit, I have no control. So I probably won't
Yeah,
be.
that's how I felt. That's how I felt when my friend and I were about to get on the Velocicoaster at what is it? Islands of Adventure. That's Islands of Adventure. They had that one. I mean, we were gonna get the front row, and I was just like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I can't do the front row in this thing. This is gonna be way too intense.
Yeah. Yo, the same thing happened to me one time. I look like a straight up bitch, right?
Mm.
And we're at uh theme park, and my friend's like, "Yo, we got to get on this roller coaster," and I'm like, okay, you know. And as we're thinking about going up there, I'm thinking to myself, how the fuck am I gonna get out of this? How the fuck am I gonna get out of this? That's all I'm thinking about. Like I don't need to get on a roller coaster because my mind can visualize what it's gonna be. So it's like I get my ass beat like 10x. Like it's gonna be 10x for me. Like I'm already like visualizing how it's gonna be, how it's gonna take off, and I'm just like, yo, I'm not doing this. So we get all the way up there. There's no way for me to like get out of there and just haul ass. So I'm like
I want
strapped
to haul you
into
to.
this thing, and I'm already like sitting in the damn thing, like, man, I'm about to fucking look like a bitch. And when it takes off, it's like it was one of the fastest roller coasters. When it takes off, it takes a picture of you,
Yeah.
and so my big ass is in there like this, like this, while everybody else is like this. I'm just like, "Ugh." And that bitch takes off. This shit was horrible, dude. I was like, man, this is why I do not do roller coasters, man. I'll never forget. Like another time, we're at another thing. I just went to like some fairgrounds. If you ever been to like a fairgrounds or something like that, I was with like a whole bunch of girls, and they're like getting on roller coasters, and I was about to get on the roller coaster, and then the closer I got to the roller coaster, my mind just starts visualizing like my ass on that shit, and I'm just like, no, 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 and they gave me I took all their purses. I was the dude holding the girls' purses while they were on the roller coaster, looking like a bitch again. Like, and I'm just like, fuck it, dude. Just like I don't do roller coasters.
Yeah, the first no, we're already in 24. Fall of 2022, I think. Yeah, it was right before my because I went to Florida again that fall. It was in Tampa. But before we went to Tampa, we went to Six Flags New England, my friend and I. This was the first time I'd been on a roller coaster in like over 20 years because all through my teens and 20s, I never rode one.
Mm-hmm.
But we get on Superman, Ride of Steel, and this thing has like a 210-foot drop. So I just forgotten, like I did not remember the sensations of a roller coaster at all. So I was like, okay, I'll just get on this. And we get the front row. I'm like, cool, the front, I get a nice view. Well, that thing goes up the lift hill. It's moving up slow, 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 slow. And then all of a sudden, I felt like a fucking vacuum just sucked me right down. And I was like, damn, I've never felt such G-force like this in my life. The fuck?
It's like all in my stomach. I just can't do it. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. Like I'm not a roller coaster guy. I'm gonna look like a bitch.
Oh man, that shit, man, that felt like my testicles were like in my fucking throat. like they
And like girls love roller coasters, and I'm just
yeah,
like,
I know.
I am not your guy. I am. Hey, I watch you. I watch you. Listen, that's what I think is the worst thing about NI. It's just like if I know something's gonna happen, it's like I've already lived it. Now you want me to live it in real life? Like that is not happening. I already see myself being miserable as shit on that damn thing and being held hostage until that shit ends. But Tom, you got anything else?
Um, yeah, maybe one more. How would you say? How do you know that something is true?
Good question. Basically, I have to look at what's being said here. I have to think about my knowledge of the topic, and if I hear a lot of embellishments, like if somebody seems to be embellishing a lot of certain points, I know that these are the points that are influencing their opinion on this. So I start to think maybe this whole argument is being framed as a promotion for that, and maybe I'm not being given accurate information here. Now, on the other hand, if somebody comes at me and tells me something, and I see that it's just straightforward the whole time, I can't really pick up on any inner motivation here, so maybe it's true.
What the fuck is that?
Hmm.
Do you see do you have a routine for your life a lot of times, or um,
Not really. I mean, I just kind of wake up and go about my day usually, and I don't really have a set time to do anything unless I have a deadline to meet, or unless I have a time to be somewhere. Then I'll. Uh, but to give a little more context here, I tend to get a rush out of doing things right at the very last minute. So even when I have something to do, I always just dilly dally and just kind of goof off for a little bit and just kind of dick around until it's crunch time and I really have to get it done. That's when I'm at my best, is when it's crunch time and I really need to go. I really need to get this done now. That's when I make zero mistakes. I do it perfectly flawlessly. And the best stuff I've ever done has been when there's a lot of pressure on me to do it right now.
mhm. Well, you talked about being running a business. What skills do you like? What skills you think you have that like really would make a business successful?
Well, I'm not bad with organization. I usually know what needs to get done and when it needs to get done. I'm good with establishing deadlines. I'm good with establishing procedures. I know how to manage people to get well, first off, I'd screen whoever came in to see if they're really about the whatever it is that we're doing here. And if I get the sense that they're just doing this for the paycheck, I won't even hire them.
Mhm.
So I know exactly who to pick for the job. I know exactly what skills they'd be good at. I'm really that's really for a successful business, for a business to be successful, in my opinion, you need to know what kind of employees you have and what they're good at. You
Mhm.
need to know where to position them so that everything just moves flawlessly and smoothly, and you get your products out. The revenue keeps coming in.
Mhm.
So because I'm usually able to accurately summarize people's talents and skills and let them know that where if they're wasting their talents or if they're wasting their time with anything,
Mhm.
I know exactly where to put everybody as far as a job, as far as a title or anything. I know who to have be a manager. I know who not have who that would be a bad fit for. Just stuff like just knowing people very well and just knowing what they're good at.
Yeah, have you always had that ability?
I'd say so. I mean, I usually could tell if somebody was not fully equipped for whatever it was they were doing. Even as a kid, I was kind of investigative about that. Like I had a teacher in fourth grade who I just automatically didn't trust from the beginning of the year because she was getting a lot of stuff wrong. And I could tell that she was probably tired of the job and therefore wasn't very effective at it. Like she claimed that the Middle East was part of Africa. And because I had already, been into geography and stuff like that at the time, I knew that was false. So I went and got a book from the library and showed her that it's actually part of Asia.
Mhm.
And she dismissed it because this was like 1998 or 9 or something, and the book was written when the Soviet Union was still in existence and wasn't Russia yet, and she dismissed it based on those grounds. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me! They hire somebody like this to be a teacher. I was like 9, 10 years old thinking that.
Do you have a hard time understanding people?
I wouldn't say people. Well, what I don't understand is when people become emotionally reactive about things. I don't understand when people take things personally and really just fly off the handle and just get mad over nothing. I just don't understand why people have to be like that since they're not being attacked physically. They're not being threatened with anything. They just hear something and it just sets them off. I don't understand those types of people.
Mhm. What do you want to be remembered for?
Just showing people what really matters in life and just improving various lives that I come across.
Mhm. Okay. Let's say, if you were, let's just say hypothetically here, if you were to die tomorrow, what would you think would be something you figured you think you missed out on?
just the level of success I was hoping to achieve at some point in my life. I still have not achieved it, and I'd like to have those coming years so that I can.
Mm-hmm. Has that always been important for you?
It's always been important. I've always just felt like I had to do something impressive and something that would really just stand out and just live on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thomas, you got anything?
No, I think we're good now.
You feel good with it? Let me check what you
Yes, this one was I think pretty difficult compared to what we're used to, but I think
I hear that
pretty
from
good about
every
it.
typologist that talks to me. They all tell me I'm hard to type. Like literally,
we will explain why we think you were pretty tough. Okay. So what we
Yeah,
got early on to tell about you was that, man, you're direct. Okay. You're specific, concise, and to the point. You mean what you say. You're not informative, not beating around the bush or anything like that. Another thing you talked about is like whenever we asked you a lot of things, it was like, I want to be running my own business, you know. That's like you generally looking at end products. Like whenever you talk, you list end products. I will already have it outlined if I want. Like you talked about something, like I'll have it already outlined if I want it. So you have preparation before you do something. So that's usually an outcome type thing to do. So with you being direct and outcome focused, there's 4 types that you could be. Obviously, your SENI, what I could be compared to others. You said what I could be compared to others, what other people are doing. So you were comparing yourself to other people. That's a TE comparison. And then SE is like what other people are doing. SENI, if you want to say that. You want to focus on yourself. That's an NI statement. You talked about heavy generalization early on, and that you fall prey to generalization. Generalization is usually attached to TE users. Okay, because a lot of people will say that it's inductive reasoning. That they use inductive reasoning to jump to a conclusion. So you talked about that being a big problem of yours early on with people even in different cities or whatnot. You know that they may not be from the same city. A TI user wouldn't fall usually have that type of problem because they would understand like that other people are kind of different based off whatever. But that's a generalization. Um, you don't take orders and stuff like that. That's more of a pragmatic approach. Go wherever you want. Everything was like freedom based for you. So you're looking at for freedom, even like one of your questions that you asked for, freedom for the people, pragmatic. And we got you as an ENTJ, man. ENTJ. The thing we struggle with was because when asked, the big thing you went into that showed that you were an ENTJ was that you knew how to use people. You know how to put people in the right place at the whatever, and you know their skills better than they even know. So that's something that I talk about a lot of times. Like I know someone else's talent better than they know it, and I know where they need to be put at. So that's a hallmark of the ENTJ. Um, the hard part was that you come off very concrete, and then
yeah.
and not as systematic as like somebody like myself. Like I'm very systematic. Like everything's set time. Like before the next day that I go to sleep, I know what I'm gonna do the next day, and it's gonna happen that way. Rarely do I have any surprises. And like if you know me for like a set period of time, like Cody Thomas, they know where I'm at, like pretty much based off what the time is, you know. Just like if you know the time, it was just kind of a little scary for me sometimes because I'm like there's been girls that's like, I know you're at this bar at this time, you're at this bar at this time, you are at the gym at this time, you sleep at this time, you're reading at this time. Like they know where I'm at just based off the blocks because I'm just so systematic in my approach to things. And you seem like, yeah, you know, like I get up and go with the flow. So I would lean and say that you're more SE child focus, ENTJ, as
So
opposed to
ESE, that one of those. All right.
yeah, like I would say you're more SE child focus, as opposed to myself who's like more like shadow focus. So like it kind of like compounds the systematicness. Some people would say like it seems as though you kind of accepted your subconscious. Like somebody like myself kind of runs away from the subconscious. Like I don't really accept like the ISFP in myself. Like, you know, I haven't accepted my emotions. I haven't accepted all that. It's kind of like I just run away from it. But it seems though like maybe you are more of accepting of your own emotions and what happens and expressing those emotions. I don't know if that's true. You'd have to answer it.
I'd say so. I think the reason for that is because growing up, I had a hard time making friends growing up, so I spent a lot of time alone. And I think during that alone time, I started to really delve deep into that FI and explore the things that I like and things that really just give me a sense of not purpose, but just making me happy to be alive, to be experiencing things, and just what I'm all about and all that. And the artistic interest I talked about, the cultural interest.
Yeah.
That's probably all just ISP subconscious coming out.
Yeah, it seems as though you accepted it, as in like somebody like myself, like it's finally like I'm finally trying to accept it now. For myself, it's always been like science, technology, books, everything. Like I was a huge ass nerd, like big ass backpack, everything. Like my brother used to get on me for like running the class and shit. Like he'd be like, because my brother was like the ultimate cool guy. He's ENTP, ultimate cool guy, and I would be I was like a nerd, basically like an INTP, basically. But it's funny to see the different sides. So yeah, man, we got you as an ENTJ, man, and definitely you're an 8. There's no doubt about it. Like an 8, like this. Like people don't realize is that what 8s do is they scare the shit out of people with their energy, and they have to figure out ways to tone down their energy. I've talked about it in other videos where I wear like pink shirts sometimes or floral pattern shirts, and it kind of like don't like pushes my energy down, so it seems a little bit more friendly, so people aren't as afraid. Like it's
Right.
like this big motherfucker's I'm 250, 5'11", 250. It's like, oh shit, like motherfuckers is intimidated. I've kind of always had that energy. But I've learned like, yeah, I gotta like tone that shit down, or like people like friends or colleagues or whatever. It's like my energy like changes the environment. Like if I go to work or something, it kind of like changes the environment. I don't think anything of it. I just want to be like left alone. Like I just kind of just don't. But it is what it is. It just follows the 8. So we got you as 8W. Thomas, what you think? 8W7?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go 8W7, man. Probably. What are you thinking? SP, social, sexual?
Um,
That's a tough one.
yeah, because I mean, he doesn't. I don't think he doesn't really seem social. I don't think.
Mm-mm.
I think you're more social than he is, to be honest. And
Yeah,
you're, that's not even your primary. Maybe SP, either SP or SX.
yeah. We either got you the SP, self-preserving, or sexual. I don't know if you dabbed into it. Have you?
Yeah, the Enneagram instincts. Yeah, word of advice: stay away from the Enneagram groups on Facebook. They're full of bullshit artists who don't know what they're talking about. But
Yeah, that's why we really stick to like the experts as always, man. I don't really deal with like the groups and shit. So much misinformation out there, you'll never
oh
fucking know, dude.
God, don't even get me started on that. It's like these people just twisting things to fit their own interpretation of it, and then you see what they like to do is they like to the Enneagram 6 is the one that they've really just redefined constantly and over and over and over again. I mean, you think terms in society being redefined, these people are redefining Enneagram 6 constantly. And the reason why, like I picked up on this immediately, what they're doing here is they redefined it so that they can type everybody as that. And if you want more information, get typed, and then you pay for the typing service. I don't know how much it costs, but I could just see that it was a money making scheme. We'll type you as a 6 until you pay us money, then you might get typed to something else. Like,
Yeah.
fuck that. I'm not falling for that bullshit.
Well, the weirdest thing is that people don't realize is that 6s have the highest introverted intuition.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The highest introverted intuition comes from 6s. So generally speaking, if you ain't got high NI, you don't belong there.
Kind of like that based
If
on
you don't
just
belong, if you
reading
don't have
around
high
all
NI, you generally don't belong in a 6 category.
nah.
A lot of people end up being 6 sexuals. Like you'll see, like the INTJs, they're usually 6 sexuals. But that they tend to have the highest NI. Like what Beatrice Chestnut talks about, the people that have the most intuition are the 6s, the 4s, and the 9s. But they all have different types of intuitions. The 6s have like the NI version. The 4s kind of have the emotional, and then like the 9s have something where they can like read body or some weird shit. I forget. I have to watch it again, but it's some weird shit that they have. I usually call it like the Jesus aura that like INFPs have, where it's like all calming when they're around. It's just some weird shit, man. It's like they just feel like, I don't know, like you're talking to Jesus or something. They're just like it's like they're like all accepting. This is the weirdest shit. But yeah, man, we got you as 8W7. I, you either X sexual or SP. You seem to be a little bit more introverted than me. I don't. You seem to be like pretty more chill. But like the sexual is like a one-on-one type thing. And the self-preserving is a kind of like solo. Like they fly solo. They kind of worry about like taking care of like their own means and stuff like that. While the sexual is kind of like a one-on-one type person. And then the social is like more. That's what I've got from it. But you got any questions from us, man?
Not really. I just find it interesting that you type me as an ENTJ, and I don't know if you're familiar with Eric Strauss, that Talking with Famous People guy. He's also on YouTube. I got typed by him like 2 or 3 years ago, and he also typed me as an ENTJ. So it's kind of interesting. This is consistent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we say, we sit here, we listen to people, we take our time. You took a lot of from us, man. I'm not gonna lie. Me and Thomas were like, oh shit, is he ESTP or is he ENTJ? Things that struck out to me was the overgeneralization. Another thing when you start talking about how you manage people and not knowing people's skills and things like that, that's more ENTJ's thing. And then that you care about success so much. Like success is like pushing up down your throat, and you've always cared about it, and then you compare yourself to other people. That's a TE comparison. Like, I'll never forget my buddy, he's also ENTJ. And a girl told him his car wasn't that nice. That motherfucker went and sold that car and got a better car that next week. Like a $60,000 Audi. Like he had like a Mustang, and the girl said something about his car not being like that great or not showing that much money. The motherfucker went and traded that bitch in and got like a $70,000 fucking Audi the next fucking week. And we're like, what the fuck? And then one time, like some stripper told him that his house wasn't that big. He sold that motherfucker and bought a bigger house that was like 500,000. So he's like, if you want to fuck with an ENTJ, you really fuck with him on that. Like, oh, you're not great. You're not that great, man. I mean, you're really not making that much money, or you're not doing really that great of stuff, and then they'll fucking lose their mind. But yeah, man, it was a pleasure, man.
Yeah, good talking to you.
I'll be posting this video on YouTube, so man, it was thanks for getting on here, man.
Yeah, no problem. I mean,
I'm sorry, I don't want to mention visually. You remind me of Dan Bilzerian. That's kind of like I think the way you look and like kind of like your vibe reminds me of him.
Dan Bilzerian. What was he known for again?
He's known for I don't know. He's known for being rich. I don't know how he got rich, and like he's always hanging out with like fucking like a bunch of beautiful women, like on a yacht.
Okay, and then I like that comparison quite a bit. Actually, I'll go with that.
So like, that could be your future,
Yeah, I hope it is.
Well, all right, brother. Take it easy, man.
All right, good talking to you. Hope to hear from you soon.
Be easy.
All right, brother.